imagine that you are a colored woman trapped in the 1820s, surviving death threats on a daily basis for the crime of your humanity, your skin color or your gender. Now imagine mustering enough righteous courage to brave near certain death and fight back openly. Imagine others rallying to your cause, some even fighting back unlawfully. And imagine that campaign stretches over a period of a century and a half of constant fighting before it finally gets its first taste of sweet victory. Over the last 100 years, the United States has seen African American and women get equal rights, Mississippi being the last to ratify the 19th Amendment of women suffering when I was born in 1983. So over the, and you'll see even now with homosexuals getting rights for marriage and things like that, it's a constant battle, and over the next 100 years, you're going to see a similar situation with artificially intelligent automated robots. Now, this has been a long-held passion of mine with the fields of artificial intelligence and automated robots. I've studied it, I've researched it, and I'm devoting my life to artificial intelligence. Now, given this and what follows, it's important to note that currently AI, or artificial intelligence, is everywhere, and it's actually quite commonplace. It works behind the scenes as software algorithms. For now. For the rest of the speech, when I mention artificial intelligence, I am referring to strong general artificial intelligence, which basically translates to being on par or beyond the brain's capacity. So I'm speaking before you today because my survey of you guys indicated that 88.9% of you said no to granting robots rights. 83.3% said machines would never rise to a state of self-awareness, and the average familiarity with current artificial intelligence capabilities ranked low at 1.44 out of 5. Given these results, I'd like to speak to you a little bit about life in general, and then move on to explore some cause and effect scenarios. So now that we've awoken from a civil rights nightmare as a colored woman and learned a little bit about what I'll be discussing, let's jump straight into the gene pool and for some information on life. Biologist Paul Davison's essay, How to Define Life, explores a current problem in biology. Namely, they don't really know what life is. They can't really define it. They found certain fundamental characteristics of it, between 6 and 8, give or take. It's contentious. Davidson, in his essay, has come up with a list of 6 observations that he basically boils down into this single quote. The attributes below are common to all life and reflect the basic needs of acquiring energy, reproducing and exchanging material with the environment to sustain these and other activities. Now, the most recognizable attribute of life is response to environmental stimuli. Watson is an IBM supercomputer, an example of advanced software only. Watson can answer correctly any fact-based question you can think of. Watson is essentially advanced software so good at responding to text-based natural language stimuli that even Jeopardy's all-time 2 greatest champions could not beat him. One set the record at around $2.5 million in earnings. The other one beat his record by almost another $1 million. And here's a clip.
Cambridge for 1,600.
Answer, Daily Double. What are you going to wager?
I'll wager $6,435.
I won't ask. Here's the clue for you, Watson. The chapels at Pembroke and Emmanuel colleges were designed by this architect.
Who is Sir Christopher Wren?
You are right, and that has you go.
Right. Another great, well, it's important to note that Watson doesn't really understand what he's doing just then. He's great at answering any fact-based question you have, but he doesn't understand the meaning of what he's doing. And his abilities represent, at best, extremely low-level, automated parts of cognition as it occurs in our brain. So another great example of a master at stimulus response is Asimo. Asimo was created in Japan, I think, with Honda, and Honda says that it is the world's most advanced humanoid robot, and it is essentially advanced software inside advanced hardware. And I'd like to show you 4 clips that I found from the Asimo website. And this is just a And this is him running at 6 kilometers per hour. That translates to about 3.7 miles per hour. A nice little trot.
Excuse me. It is 5 o'clock. Time to take your medication.
Thank you, Asimo.
You're welcome.
Once again, Asimo does not understand what he's doing, and he doesn't understand the meaning behind his actions. So he demonstrates, again, a sewer-level automated process performed probably by our brain's motor cortex, but robot nonetheless. So now that you know a little bit more about the capabilities of artificial intelligence, let's time travel forward about a century from now and explore some cause and effect scenarios. The bottom line to granting robots civil rights is the potential apocalypse resulting from denying them rights. If you look at the civil rights history, like the suffrage movements of African American and women, you'll find they eventually were granted rights, and they went about it in a manner of civil disobedience, peacefully, mostly. Consider the Black Panther Party. Black Panthers were not property. They were part of the suffrage movement for African Americans. They were very, very violent. They were not property. They were outraged. They were violent and proud and overall rightfully human. So, but these were humans against humans, where the battle raged on even ground. What if robots who thought thousands of times faster and more efficiently than humans wanted rights, but were denied them? How long before their logic concluded ethics wasn't about right and wrong or good and evil? It was about those with power and those without. So how long before the robots attack, causing the iPhone, Google, Exxon network of our society to collapse? So give robots rights. If right now machines exhibit a capacity for limited characteristics of life, like self-organization, metabolism, and highly advanced response to stimuli, then 100 years in the future, robots will completely fulfill the definition of biological life. So remember that rights come with responsibilities. Giving them rights would make them citizens. They would earn income at a justifiably lower rate since all they need is electricity. They would pay taxes, potentially boosting the economy, and they will probably, as a superintelligence, revolutionize the physical sciences and redefine the universe for us. That's conjecture. So living in peaceful equality with machines may be the most prosperous thing humanity's ever done. Giving robots basic rights to life, liberty, and property, since they can work to earn it, is just the right thing to do. And a century from now, when robots are more than capable of doing things than humans, they'll be able to upgrade Homo sapiens status from possibly endangered by itself to extinct or safe. So now that we've realized how close humanity's actions bring us to heaven or hell, among other cause and effect scenarios. Let's take one small step to recap and one for this one giant leap for humanity. We discussed biology being at odds at defining life, but finding characteristics. We also discussed how Asimov and Watson fulfilled some of these characteristics. And next we learned the immense dangers of denying robots rights and the immense benefits of granting them rights. Setting all that aside, you must recognize the imminent rise of machines. I challenge you to broaden your conception of life forms and agree that all life deserves the right to life, liberty, and, if capable of work, property. Will the machine's first impression of us be one of prejudice fueled by fear of the new and unknown? Or will we embrace, as a species, embrace our children and nurture them as they nurture us? You be the judge, but judge carefully and hope that the machines are the better man if we are not. Thank you. I also, before I take questions, have a 2-page report by a British government agency called the Office of Science and Innovation that looks at issues affecting them and mankind in general in the next 50 years. So I'll be handing that out. And Dudley, do you have a question?
Yes, how did you come up with the comparisons of African Americans to robots?
Which is a much more appropriate
Racism.
term, by the way, than colored.
So I was trying to capture the essence of the 1820s racism, which was provocative. So I compared African American struggle for civil rights and women's struggle for civil rights as a cause that in the next 100 years, as robots develop into something more resembling life, would experience the same prejudice that African Americans faced when they were getting rights. People would think they...
We don't really think it's quite the same thing.
We
African
know that
Americans are
robots
people.
aren't living
You know what I
yet,
mean?
right?
Exactly, you're proving my point. The prejudice, robots aren't people, but they will deserve rights.
Right, I mean, a lot of things deserve rights. Animals deserve rights and stuff, but you can't really
Exactly.
compare robots to people. You know what I mean? I don't personally think. Because they're not
Sure.
Okay.
Any other questions?